I feel like falling at your feet and saying I'm not worthy.
Please.
I'm not worthy to be
All
here.
right.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Great
Good
to see you. Yeah.
What I love, as much as I want to talk about this movie, I just want to talk about some pinpoints, some moments in your life. And I was thinking about what must it be like to be these guys yesterday. I was on the Disney lot, and I saw a gaggle of fanboys and ladies gather around you to ask you a few questions, and you were very polite, but you said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry, but we have to take 50 steps that way and finish the movie." And I'm told hours ago, mission accomplished.
Yeah, midnight
that's
last
right.
night. They ripped it out of our hands. That's it. We're done.
And what does that come down to when you talk about the absolute last moment, whatever that definitive moment that your hand goes to the movie is? What is it? Where you go, all right, we're done.
It's never like you want it to be. It's always like, you'd keep going if you could. That's
Right.
why they have to tear it out of your hand.
It's like 2 or 3 VFX shots that are always the toughest. There's like, for whatever reason, these shots are really hard. And those are always the last things that come in, and that's what you're waiting for.
So my brothers and I, we couldn't make a bowl of oatmeal without getting into a fight growing up. How do you do a movie together?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's always people always respond to the fact that we work together. They're like, "Oh, I wish I could work with my sibling like that," or "It's I could never work with my sibling like that." It's one or the other. It works for us for whatever reason.
So soon I'm going to be directing my first movie as a co-director, and I'm wondering, how does that work? Does one say action and the other say cut? What do you do?
I mean, we usually let the assistant director say action.
Okay.
So that's how you.
It's funny though. I think every directing team probably works in a unique way, in the same way that every director works in a unique way. It's all a function of what your personality is, what your process is, and how you like to work.
And to what extent do you bring your own likes, what you want to see into this movie? Because there have to be moments, and can you call that moment in the movie where you look at it and you say, that is my favorite moment? I hate to make you dissect
Yeah, I mean,
it.
there's a lot of moments. I mean, you're watching these things that you get really excited about. I think when we're watching Winter Soldier, I love watching that elevator fight, only because it represents a real transition, the moment of the entire MCU where, everything flips on its head, for the first time. So there's always things that excite us the same way they do the fans. Like we're just sitting there, especially listening. If you're at a premiere or a fan event and you're watching the movie with them, listening the way they react to the stuff's incredible.
Who are the people that formed your lives? If you were to look back as filmmakers and go back to the very first person, was it a movie you watched, or was it a person that said, you should do this for a living?
We had a really influential teacher at Benedictine High School in Cleveland called Mark Francioli, and he taught us English literature, but he did sneak film studies into that program, and I think that was.
He was the first person I think that really taught us about thematics and metaphor in movies. Up until that point, I think we had a very literal sort of experience of movies. We love this story, we love these characters, But he was like, no, there can be real messaging.
Yeah, he put film in the context of the other arts, and I think that was really what blew it open for us.
As you watch this movie, is there a moment that you say, I'm going to take what I learned from that scene, and work it into my next movie?
There always is. I mean, you learn from every film. It's just it's an iterative process, and it's constantly evolving. And I think it's interesting, too, is when you get around other directors sometimes, like we'll visit people on set and you watch the way they do it. There's no rule book about this. And suddenly you'll just pick up a piece of information that you're like, oh my God, we've been doing it this way for 25 years. Why don't we do that? It's so much more efficient.
Sometimes the challenges make for the best moments, because that's where you have to become resourceful. You have to outlift your budget, or maybe cut around the budget.
100%.
What's the moment in this movie that was the greatest hurdle to get over, yet it created something that you didn't even see coming?
I mean, I think so we don't give anything away in this movie. We talk in general about the 2 movies, going back to back with them, just a real, just understanding how physically demanding these are, especially as you get older, making sure you take care of yourself, you eat right, you get enough sleep, so you can make good decisions every day.
Oh, so making a movie is just all about life balance?
Basically. A movie of this scale, that's for sure.
How do you balance your life whenever Disney's making you go out and hang out with the likes of me while you're supposed to be in there cutting a movie?
That's right.
That's the challenge.
Yes.
All right, and last question, what's next?
Next is a small movie that we're going to make with Tom Holland. It's called Cherry. It's based on a book.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
An honor, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really great.
Appreciate it.